So guys, I understand how frustrating it can be when you want to, open up your care agency, or you just want to become a CQC service provider in general, and people are like, do your research, because it can be kind of frustrating, if you will. Like, what do you mean do my research? Do my research on what? I don't know where to start. A few of the things that I think you should do your research on more specifically, because I find that when people have become CQC accredited, and they have all their policies and procedures, they have all the excitement of recently being passed, recently being regulated, and then they get the harsh reality that, you know what, now I need to start making money, because this is a business. I need to start getting customers. I need to make sure that I'm compliant. It can be very overwhelming. um so the main things I will tell you to do your research on is do your research on your competitors. What are their hourly rates? Guys, I can't tell you how many times, I start providing someone with my service of business development. So I start securing service users for them, and they're like, what should I be charging? And it's so, for me, it's always such a bizarre experience, because it's like, you've been open for 2 years. What do you mean, should you be charging? Like, shouldn't I be asking you what you charge? Shouldn't you already know what you should be charging? But it just goes to show that these things aren't, it's not as a no-brainer as you would think it is. Like, I realize that the things that appear obvious to me don't necessarily appear to everyone else. So I'll start with that as a number one pointer. Find out what your competitors are charging and make sure your prices are more competitive than theirs. I mean, if you can't beat them on reputation, you sure can beat them on affordability. We are in a recession and people are trying to save their coins. People are never going to compromise safety of their parents, of their loved ones, over compliance. They definitely are going to be more careful with who they take on based on price. So competitive pricing is important. Another thing to research before you even think of starting a care agency is obviously what it entails financially. How much are things going to cost? Don't just wing it. Don't just think, okay, insurance is going to cost that much. Actually go on the websites and input information as if you already were registered to get real life quotes. You can't wing it. You have to know how much things cost. You have to know how much your policies and procedures are going to cost. You have to know how much, your insurance is gonna cost. You have to know whether you're eligible for a loan. You have to know, you have to know these things before you get into it. And again, it might sound very obvious, but I'm telling you guys, it's not, it doesn't occur to a lot of people. And lastly, and this is a big one, know how you're going to get your customers and how much that requires. If you're going to do tenders and you don't know how to do tenders yourself, the chances are you're going to need a tender bidder. How much does that cost, generally speaking, in your area? If you are going to be going heavily after private service users, how much do credits cost? How many credits do I need to have a good chance of getting a private service user? Do I need to pay someone to do that on my behalf? Do I need to pay a business developer? Do I need to pay a cold caller? These things cost money and you have to be able to account for it. So research these things, because it does matter, and those expenses will creep up. And before you know it, you're 2 years in this industry with no customers, nothing to show for it but debt. I don't want you to be in that predicament. So go and think about those things and research these things that I've mentioned. Thanks, guys. Bye.